Perfect. Well, welcome to the 2024 National Association of Social Workers Washington Chapter's Social Work Month celebration. My name is Jeremy Arp, and I'm the Executive Director for the Washington Chapter. We wanted to take this opportunity to recognize the contributions of social work professionals and community members for 2024. Note that this celebration is being recorded. Please mute yourself and put yourself into speaker view for best results. That way you can see the background that we have here. We will be pinning several people. We have scheduled ASL interpreters that they will be pinned as available. I don't see that they've arrived quite yet, but when they do, they will be pinned as well. The National Association of Social Workers Washington Chapter would like to acknowledge that all of our lives and institutions exist on Indigenous lands. This land acknowledgement is one small act in the ongoing process towards decolonization and a part of social work's commitment to socially just practice. So the chapter has developed a land acknowledgement with the goals of celebrating the original peoples of Washington, naming the role of colonization in taking land from Indigenous peoples, identifying the role that social work has in upholding systems of colonization, and name intentions to build healing relationships and support tribes in achieving equity and justice in Washington. So let's see here. So the NASW respects the relationship the Indigenous peoples have as the original protectors and nurturers of this land we call Washington State. We offer up our gratitude for this land and for those who have taken care of it before us. We acknowledge that our organization and our members' history is interwoven with the colonization of Washington, and it's our intention to honor the Indigenous peoples of Washington in seeking equity and justice for all Washingtonians. In the spirit of this gratitude and acknowledgement, we also declare the responsibility and duty for social work in Washington to build collaborative and empowering relationships with Indigenous peoples in our state. So with that said, I think we are right here. Okay. Each March, Governor Inslee acknowledges social work, recognizes social work through a proclamation. It basically outlines the contributions that social workers make in Washington State and declares the month of March Social Work Month. This year, President Biden also recognized Social Work Month in a letter released in early March. And so both of those are posted on our social media channels, and we'd love for you to take a look at that on Instagram or Facebook if you have a chance. We're pleased to honor our professionals and community members today, and we hope to have a live in-person event in future years. Our intent was to have a live in-person event this year, but it was a little complicated this year with one, we had a live in-person policy conference in Olympia, which was very successful. In order to recognize our 2024 award winners, we'll outline the award criteria for each award winner: outstanding student, outstanding recent graduate, the Talene Watson President's Award, Public Citizen of the Year, Social Work Educator of the Year, Social Worker of the Year, and Lifetime Achievement Award. We'll then recognize the award winners with excerpts of nomination letters read by our nominators or NASW chapter leadership, as well as some of the folks in attendance today. Current board president, Miguel Juarez, will share remarks before we begin our recognition. Miguel.
Yes, thanks, Jeremy. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is very exciting to be here with you. I see some familiar faces here. Thanks again. Well, there's much to celebrate this year, and we're gonna be talking about as we continue, but this is also the Social Work Month, and the theme for this Social Work Month is empowering social workers, inspiring action, and leading change. So we're gonna be working on that throughout the year. Also, this year, we are proud to celebrate changes to licensure in Washington, including decreasing the number of hours to become unlicensed social workers. This year also, Washington is becoming the fourth state to join the Social Work Compact. Many of you are familiar with the Compact, and I believe we're gonna be talking about, just briefly, which was sponsored by the social worker representative, Tina Arwell. Then our chapter legislative action committee, chaired by Michelle Curtis McQueen, made this priority this year. It was a lot of work. Thanks, Michelle. The chapter staff and Evergreen Public Affairs also work to make sure or to ensure that the bill made it through the process. As you know, we need a lobbyist, we need to be present, we need to be making noise so the legislators can hear us and listen to what we need. The compact will help social workers' ability to participate or to practice in multiple states. And more work is ahead. So Washingtonians that were licensed will be able to go other places, other states, and no need to get another license over there. So again, this is very positive. September, later on this year, 2004, our chapter will be hosting a statewide conference near Spokane. We can say it's Spokane, but it's near Spokane. The conference planning committee worked to evaluate proposals that came in all over the country, actually. I was talking to Jeremy earlier, and we have so many proposals for the day. We are finalizing the registration process, and the registration for the conference will open next week. So stay tuned if you want to participate. Thank you to Danielle Flores, our chair, chapter board secretary, and chair of the conference planning committee for coordinating this event and make it a reality. A lot of work included. Again, thanks, Danielle. The team will be building connections for a socially just Washington. And that's the slide that you can see on your upper left, building connections for socially just future Washington. We are thrilled to have engaging speakers and networking opportunities to make those connections after a time of disconnectedness because of COVID. So we were kind of on Zoom all this time, so it's time to be in person, and all of you are invited. So going back to the nominations of today, we received a lot of nominations from around the state. There were many to choose from. We would like to also recognize our long-term members with the chapter. And we are proud to represent over 2,200 members from around Washington State. And we are continuing to grow. So again, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. At this time, 6 p.m. our time, to honor those extraordinary, let me say it again, extraordinary individuals. I'm honored to know some of them, and it was about time to recognize them. So thank you, all of you here and your families. I know some of you are with your families, children, partners, and that's great. I mean, all this requires a family. It's a family effort. So I will now hand this to Jeremy to continue. Thank you, and again, welcome everyone.
Perfect, Miguel. Thanks so much for your remarks, and we'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're going to go in this order. So if you know you're getting an award, just know that you're on deck coming up. The first award that we're going to go with is for the Outstanding Student Award. Let's see here. One second. So the first award we present, this award honors a student currently in a social work program in our state who has demonstrated excellence and great potential. Allison Weedy, our MSW student representative on the chapter board, will share nomination remarks for the Outstanding Student Award, nominated by Laura Alcoloco. And if I know Laura's here, she might want to say some things too. So Allison.
Right. Evie Velez was selected as our outstanding student. Evie was described as a natural community organizer. As an MSW student, they have been a lead organizer to establish a recovery coalition in Snohomish County. They have quickly and expertly gathered people together to work towards community goals, legislative goals, education projects, and more. This person is an absolute organizing powerhouse. So congratulations, Evie.
And before we ask Evie to come on board, Laura, would you like to say a couple words about Evie as well?
Sure. I just want to say that Evie is definitely somebody that need to watch. I think as I'm a social work educator, but Evie's not even my student, and got my attention in this last year with everything that they're doing. And I'm really looking forward, Evie, to see what you do with your career. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Laura. Can you take my picture down? That's very unsettling. I just want to highlight that. It's jarring to see a giant face of yourself, you know? So, my father came to this country at the age of 16, did not know how to speak English. So I had that kind of immigrant past. On the other side of my family, because clearly I'm biracial, that probably happened 80 years before, in the early 1900s or late 1800s. I'm a person with lived experience, being justice involved. I have a substance use, or had a substance use disorder. Well, debatable whether or not that ever goes away. In 2004, I'm a transplant as well. I'm not originally from here, so apologies for that. In 2004, I was kicked out of the University of Wisconsin permanently. I was banned. So to be here 20 years later and receiving some outstanding student award is pretty profound and impactful. And I really thank Laura for nominating me. And I'm very grateful. That's all I got.
You're well deserved, Evie. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Evie. And yeah, I guess it is jarring to have a big picture of yourself, but you know what? We want to celebrate you and thank you so much for being here and all that you do. Next,
Wait, one more thing. I was supposed to do the Sherman Fields. You like me. You really, really like me. That thing. If anyone gets the reference.
I get it. So that's fantastic, Evie. Thank you so much. All right. Well, the next person that we're recognizing today is also here, on the big screen too. The Outstanding Recent Graduate Award honors graduates who have completed their degrees within the past 5 years and are now working in Washington State and who have already distinguished themselves in the field. Rayanna Tensley, our Eastern Washington representative to the chapter board, will read remarks for Jennifer Harris, Outstanding Recent Graduate for 2024.
Thank you, Jeremy. And if you guys hear that in the background, I'm at a listening party right now. Throughout Jennifer's social work career, she has been a strong advocate for equitable practices in social justice. I first met Jennifer at her practicum placement, Excelsior Wellness Center. Soon after, I was reintroduced to Jennifer by the social work director for EWU's MSW program, Stacey Che. During school, Jennifer Harris volunteered her time educating incoming students about the MSW program and the NASW. During her practicum hours, she learned more about the facility and advocated for employees and her adolescent participants. After graduation, Jennifer Harris continued to expand her skill set and utilize this knowledge to incorporate IDEA, inclusion, diversity, equity, and anti-racism, into trauma-informed practices at trauma-informed therapies. She quickly rose to leadership level and wrote the facility's employee manual. She led interviews, assisting the company in hiring diverse and socially competent staff. Jennifer still holds the role of IDEA expert, leadership, and clinician. She balances all of this as she completes another master's degree to better her area of expertise in social services. Jennifer Harris truly deserves to be recognized for the work she has done and continues to do pre and post graduation for the future licensed clinicians and participants both she and they serve. Congratulations, Jennifer.
Congratulations, Jennifer. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Let me see on the screen. That's Jennifer. All
Yeah.
right. Nice meeting you.
Hello. Yeah. It's funny hearing everybody with their blowers in the background. And yes, I agree. It's jarring having the picture giant. Honestly, I don't have very much to say, but thanks. Like, thank you. It's really truly honoring being here and not just being honored, but also being amongst amazing social workers, right? And with an amazing organization. So thanks, Anna. And also really truly like I'm so grateful to get to work with the people that I get to work with. So thank you.
Congratulations, Jennifer. And I wanted to ask too, Jennifer and Evie, I hope you both received your award via the mail and also the swag.
It's a lovely paperweight. I love it. It really
Oh.
holds down all the files.
Fantastic. That's what we're aiming for. More files. So, all right, let me get my screen shared again. Again, I get it. It's a jarring, huge picture, but these are great looking folks that we want to make sure to highlight today. So let's see here. We're going to go to, it looks like Elizabeth Porter is next. And so that would be the Talene Watson President's Award. Tonight we give the President's Award, which the chapter dedicated to Talene Watson's memory. Talene Watson was a former president of our chapter, but also executive director of the chapter until 2020. Talene Watson also had won Social Worker of the Year. I was looking back at the records. She won the Social Worker of the Year twice. So it was quite an honor for her to do that. So let me go ahead and share the right screen here. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. All right. All right, so Miguel, our chapter president, will read the nomination for Elizabeth Porter, the Talene Watson President's Award recipient for 2024. She was nominated by Diane Kuhlman. Miguel.
Yes, thank you. Well, it is an honor. I don't have the pleasure yet to meet Elizabeth, but hopefully I will pretty soon. Well, Diane Kuhlman wrote that Elizabeth gives much up to others and holds some of the strongest standards, even if it means that there could be hard consequences, just like a social worker. Perfect. Elizabeth has worked with some of the hardest populations for over a year. She worked with those who were in acute crisis, needing to be hospitalized. She always held her grounds, and if it was possible, she will always try to find a less restrictive alternative for the clients that she served. Elizabeth noted that often the system send clients of color to be hospitalized without really talking to them and understand the cultural factors involved in those situations. Elizabeth approaches every day with patience, despite her own challenges of living with chronic conditions, needing her own support and having to push back against authorities who challenge principles to offer clients the best level of care. She rotated every week, putting notes in clinicians' mailboxes, letting them know that they were appreciated because she believed often people don't hear that enough, and I totally agree with that. There aren't many supervisors who took the time to do that. She always has had an open door policy to allow everyone to come into and talk to her, and has gone above and beyond, serve clients with the best level of service, because she has always said everyone deserves to feel like someone cares and will be there when they are ready to pursue the care. I don't know anyone who will do that but her. Again, congratulations, Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth would like to say some remarks.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can, or we can.
Hello. Sorry, my camera's a little fuzzy. Okay, hi, thank you. I really appreciate the award. I was honestly very surprised. But I really appreciate it. And you know, one of the biggest things I really think of is that the recognition of the award is not just mine, but also belongs to everyone who has a commitment to this work. And also just the fact that I represent more than just myself, but everyone who has the intersection of a lot of identities. I believe that I represent more than myself as a woman of color, but also someone who has a disability. I'm a wheelchair user, so I get to represent that that there is a possibility to be able to do more than what is expected. There's no limitations to anything, and to advocate with fiercity with all that we do. So often I think of the saying from Gandhi, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And that's often what I feel like I do at work, is I get lost in the work and then I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to go home. And then I, forget it's time to go, because I really enjoy what I do every single day. So thank you.
Much. You deserve it.
See. All right. Thank you so much. And reading these nominations, there were so many that came in and just very moving. So thank you for all that you do. Next, we're going to recognize Public Citizen of the Year. The Public Citizen of the Year award honors a citizen who has made substantial contributions to social justice in the community. Rihanna Tensley will talk about this year's award recipient, Michael Reddick. Rihanna.
So thank you, Jeremy. So I first met Michael when I interviewed him for a digital skills position in 2022. He was a veteran living in Moses Lake and well-versed in technical skills. The program he was hired for was new, but he was eager to learn and assisted where he could. Michael was my guinea pig, and although I was a supervisor, I thank him tremendously for his kindness and guidance in helping our Goodwill build and refine a great program. Although the grant was awarded to another organization mid to late 2023, Michael's efforts to organize and lead wrapped up the grant last year excellently. He brought a sense of belonging to our team, allowing his colleagues to look to him as a respected person. He stepped into his interim position of program manager with a desire to continue assisting all of Eastern Washington with digital skill services. During this time, Michael was also an active member of Goodwill's EDI, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee, assisting in revision of policies and procedures. Since then, Michael continues to work for Goodwill, supporting participants in the Moses Lake area, ever growing his knowledge and skill set for housing, employment, and case management. Michael deserves to be recognized for Public Citizen of the Year because although he does not hold a social work degree, he embodies our values in every interaction, every program implementation, and policy creation. Congratulations, Michael.
Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you, Rihanna. Truly humbled by your words. So I just want to say that it's a great honor and privilege that I'm here to even be able to accept this. As a dedicated advocate of social justice and equality, I'm extremely humbled by this recognition of the efforts to create a positive change in our society. I've worked many jobs in my lifetime, but nothing has been quite as fulfilling as assisting those in needs, from working to improve the lives of marginalized communities through digital inequity to now assisting in the most basic living accommodations of the most vulnerable among us. I will continue to be driven, as well as we all are in this work, by a deep sense of compassion and a belief in the transformative power of social work. And I want to say that every day, social workers across the country are dedicated themselves to empowering individuals, families, communities, so that they can overcome adversity and achieve their full potential. So it's truly an honor to be counted among their ranks and to stand alongside all of you and fight for more and a just, equitable world. And I would like to really thank my wife for standing by me and supporting me in my decision in this. Thank my parents for instilling me a moral compass and my work ethic. Definitely want to thank Rihanna for taking a chance in me and introducing me to this work, because I think that I've really found my calling in life and I'm truly happy. And I want to thank my current coworkers, Paula Gonzalez, Michelle Zavala, Kathy Chavez, Lydia Kelly, Sarah Hillary, Zoe Harden, Annika Pruneda, and Jamie McDowell. Together, we're a team, and it's through teamwork that I'm actually just able to accomplish anything that I do. I couldn't do it without anyone. So as we celebrate today, let's not lose sight of the challenges that lie ahead. There's still a lot of work to be done. But I know that, together that we can all just make a more just, equitable, and compassionate society. So thank you all for this.
Perfect, Michael. And that's Michael Rennick, who works for the Goodwill Industries of the Inland Northwest, not the Inland Empire, which I wrote in the first time. And so Michael has a good sense of humor. He wrote a Star Wars joke or two back and forth. So glad we didn't have you on the Death Star there. So next we're going to recognize the Social Work Educator of the Year. And I think what we're working on is some tech challenges here. We're gonna see if Mary's able to mute or not. The Social Work Educator of the Year honors an educator in the state who has made an exceptional contribution to social work education in Washington. Let's see, I'm going to check the chat. Mary, are you able to unmute, or were you able to join? Okay, I'm not hearing from Mary. So Mary did write a nomination, which I'll go ahead and read on Mary's behalf. Mary O'Brien writes that Dr. Gino Eisenberg, an associate professor at the University of Washington School of Social Work, is a bilingual, bicultural Latino mental health researcher. He is the founding co-director of the Latino Center for Health at the University of Washington. Previously, he served as an associate dean for diversity and student affairs of the graduate school from 2013 to 2019. Dr. Eisenberg is staunchly committed to addressing inequities in the access and utilization of health and behavioral health services by diverse populations. His research interests focus on three interrelated areas impacting underserved ethnic minority populations: traumatic exposure of children and families to community violence and associated post-traumatic stress disorder, depression care for adults, and evidence-based practice. Dr. Eisenberg earned his MSW and PhD degrees from the University of Southern California. And since coming to the University of Washington in 2002, Dr. Eisenberg's research and teaching have been deeply informed by culture and authentic partnerships with community-based agencies serving marginalized and rural communities. I have known, collaborated, and partnered with Dr. Eisenberg on a variety of community-based projects and research over the last 20 years, writes Mary. He has offered his expertise to many clients, patients, students, employees, and our Latino community. Mary has learned a lot from him and grown professionally over the years. Dr. Eisenberg is a social worker who understands the connection between the role of our education institutions and the importance of engagement with the communities that future students will live and serve. Congratulations, Dr. Eisenberg. And Mary, are you able to unmute? No. Okay, well, I will hand it over to Dr. Eisenberg then.
Thank you so very much. And it's great to see so many of you. Muchísimas gracias. I'm deeply grateful for this special honor, but I truly share it with my incomparable wife, Grace, and my wonderful children, David, Samuel, and Rebecca, as well as my dear friends in Los Angeles, my students over the past 22 years at the University of Washington, as well as staff and faculty at the School of Social Work, and those who have mentored me throughout my life. In addition, I share this honor with my community partners over these many years, especially the Yakima Valley Farm Workers Clinic and Heritage University, and also the remarkable staff of the Latino Center for Health over the past 10 years that I have co-directed with Dr. Leo Morales. I appreciate that this award is for being a social work educator, not a social work teacher. I've never been formally trained in any educational pedagogical instruction, okay? But my passion is to educate not just the minds of my students, but also their hearts and their spirits. My passion is not just to teach what to know and what to do, however important that is, but also how to be in community and how to be with our communities. I support and push my students to live their gifts to their fullest because we need to be active participants and leaders in changing the structures and practices that marginalize and oppress individuals, families, and communities. As social workers, we need to shift the harmful, dominant paradigms and steadfastly promote just relationships and culturally responsive services that remain urgently needed for our communities, including immigrants, abused children, LGBTQ youth, Latinx and BIPOC families, depressed adults, women survivors of intimate partner violence, traumatized children and families exposed to community violence, exploited agricultural workers, exonerees, veterans suffering from PTSD, and we can name so many more populations. Our collective work is not yet complete, but we are making important impacts now. And in the words of Dolores Huerta, sí se puede. I am blessed to love what I do and be the person I am. It is a privilege to teach, mentor, and equip my students to be culturally responsive and reflexive practitioners. I treasure building their skills to be transformative leaders and change agents who promote health and advance equity within diverse communities. And it is a special joy to provide leadership and engage in authentic partnerships in promoting the health and well-being of the diverse Latinx communities across Washington State through the Latino Center for Health. This work also involves supporting the next generation of scholars and leaders, including members of our own staff at the center. I share briefly two examples. Yesterday, I received an email from a former Latina doctoral student in the Department of Epidemiology at the University of Washington, who I helped mentor and who strongly contributed to our center. She has completed her postdoc at the University of California in San Francisco and is now a faculty member there. And for many of the heritage students whom we train to deliver our telephone-based depression care intervention, I wrote letters of recommendation to the MSW programs of study they applied for admission. All were admitted to their preferred school. To share in the growth and excellence of students and staff is an inspiring gift. Please know that you, my family, friends, colleagues, students, and community partners have stretched me, challenged me, and fostered my own growth. Your belief and support through these years, I hold deep in my heart. You have sustained me to not only make a difference, but be a difference in the lives of so many people. Thank you so very much. Thank you for this award as 2024 Social Work Educator of the Year. With gratitude, I share it with all of you. Mil gracias.
Congratulations, Dr. Eisenberg. Well deserved.
Sorry, I needed to pause for a little bit after that, Dr. Eisenberg. That was very, very much appreciate your remarks. The chapter Social Worker of the Year award honors a social worker that exemplified the best of the profession's values and achievements. This year's recipient is Dr. Kendra Roberson. Laura Akaloko will read the nomination remarks for Kendra Roberson, our 2024 Social Worker of the Year.
Thank you. Dr. Robertson, first I'll say to you that the first time I can remember meeting you is when you had me to your class to do a guest lecture many years ago before I ever taught. I'd probably be embarrassed to see how I did during that guest lecture, but you really made me feel valued, and what I had to offer was valuable, is how you made me feel. And I think that is the kind of leader that you are. is someone who just seems like you're always ready to support others, clinical social workers and people in your community to feel valuable and to do well. And I think that kind of warm, humble leadership is what made me think of you for this award. I will try to say some of the highlights. I will not get to all of the things that Dr. Robertson has done in her career because it's so many things. And often ahead of the curve in a lot of different ways. So I know a lot of us now are teaching virtually, but Dr. Robertson helped design the first asynchronous social work course that the School of Social Work had before COVID, before anyone was teaching online. And I know we have the compact coming in Washington State, but Dr. Robertson is already licensed in multiple states. I think it's Washington, Maryland, and Texas. And she has done kind of all the social work things, micro, meso, macro social work practice. She has a private practice and also is a yoga teacher as well as a social work teacher. She's been teaching at the School of Social Work for 15 years. I cannot imagine how many social work students, colleagues, clients, people who have been touched by Dr. Robertson. And then the very big recent accomplishment of completing a term as the president of the national CSWA, the Clinical Social Work Association. I can't imagine how much work that was. And just finished that service to all of us clinical social workers. So I'm sure even after you're done with that, you probably have other special projects in mind for whatever you're going to do next. But you've accomplished so many different things, and I'm glad that you are receiving this award.
Thank you so much, Laura. Actually, you did great that first time that you came to my class, and you're a natural. So if I had video of that day, you would smile because it was fine. It was great. Thank you so much, NASW Washington, for this honor. I wrote something, but it's hard for me to read that and really feel all that I'm feeling. I feel really blessed to be able to be honored for something that I joyfully do. You know, I love being a clinical social worker. It's something that I probably was determined and sort of destined to do from, you know, even before I went to college. And interestingly, when I left to go to college, I had no idea that social work was even a profession. I did not know that there was a School of Social Work at the University of Washington, you know, and just it had not dawned on me that this could be a career. And actually, after 30 years of being a clinical social worker, I actually finally feel like I'm a therapist now. And I've been doing clinical work for half of those 30 years. And actually, I've been teaching at the University of Washington for over 20 years at this point. So it's just been by grace that I've been able to find myself in these different positions to do, again, some of what I love. I think, you know, certainly the work with CSWA has been pretty impactful for me. It's been kind of a nice cap to this part of my career. I see myself growing more and doing other things. And I really feel like, you know, I've had so many wonderful influences. I've had some excellent influences at the University of Washington. I had so many mentors, Black women, social workers who kind of took me by the hand and taught me how to kind of be about the community. But actually that came from my parents, my grandmothers, who, you know, really taught us to be about service and to be about, you know, other people. So yeah, thank you very much for this honor, and thank you for this and the swag. It's lovely. I'll cherish it. Um, yeah, heartfelt thank you for the honor. I appreciate it. And thank you for my family and friends for being present and for your support. Love y'all. Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations, Dr. Robertson.
And we will have some time after the award ceremony concludes to basically have folks congratulate and engage in conversation too. So I don't want to cut anyone off from making any congratulatory remarks. So thank you for all that you do, Dr. Roberson. Next, we move to the Lifetime Achievement Award. Before the presentation of our last award, the Lifetime Achievement Award is something that this chapter didn't typically have. I think the first Lifetime Achievement Award was offered just a couple of years ago from NASW Washington chapter. And so the thing about the Lifetime Achievement Award is, you know, it's summarizing a lifetime of social work contributions. And so basically you have to meet the same criteria as Social Worker of the Year and make impacts, deep impacts. I will say that this year's choice was Dr. Jody Keller from Pacific Lutheran University, and there were 19 nominations for Dr. Keller, not just from Pacific Lutheran current faculty or anything like that. It was past students and things like that too. So I know that we have one person here today that helped kind of be the ringleader on getting nominations in, and that would be Maria Carrington. Maria, would you like to say some remarks?
Sure, thank you. I like the title of ringleader. So when I saw the emails about these awards, Dr. Keller's name came to mind instantly. When I brought my idea up to other people, everybody was on board and ready to write letters to nominate her. Dr. Keller's achievements and accomplishments are numerous, and I could take several hours listing them, but I will instead highlight some things. Her career spans from being a school social worker to being the chair of the social work program and the global studies program at PLU. She's written valuable textbooks contributing to the knowledge of school social work. She's also been involved in multiple community issues and projects over the years that have deeply impacted students and the community as a whole. I personally have had the opportunity to work with and be taught by Dr. Keller. When I was a student of hers, my classmates and I would often ask each other, WWJD. It was our personal shorthand to say, what would Jody do? We felt then, and I do feel today, that Dr. Keller does embody the heart and soul of what it means to be a social worker. Dr. Keller's most recently came out of retirement to help the BSW program at PLU through some significant changes and launch our new MSW program, which will have our first cohort start this September. I'm very thankful that the board and so many others agreed with me that Dr. Keller deserves this award. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Keller. Do you want to say some remarks?
Well, thank you. Sure. Thank you, Maria, for that very nice introduction. First, I need to say how honored and humbled I am in receiving this award. I know there are so many equally deserving social workers out there, you in the audience there, and we are an awesome profession. So I just want to say that. So I truly do feel humbled to be chosen for this particular award. I also want to thank those folks who nominated me and wrote letters of support. And I don't know who all of you are, but I know it does include, as mentioned, colleagues, former students, and members of the community. And I am so grateful for your kind words and well wishes. Just a little bit about myself. I first became aware of social work, since this is a Lifetime Achievement Award, I guess I can talk about myself. When I was in the 8th grade, actually being introduced to the profession via a television show, but that's a different story. But I was drawn to social work by its emphasis on social justice, and that was illustrated in the TV show. So for me, it was like, wow, you can make a living doing this. And then growing up in and around Chicago, I also learned about Jane Addams. I was probably in the 9th grade by the time I first encountered her story, and was fascinated by her life journey, as I am generally fascinated by anyone's life stories. So I wanted to be a social worker from a relatively early age, and I never looked back and never regretted that choice. My professional background, as mentioned, has been primarily in school social work, largely in Illinois for about 12 or 13 years, with a brief foray into behavioral health in Iowa, then culminating in 34 years teaching social work at Pacific Lutheran University. And I know that what we all really want is to make a difference in some way, to leave at least a small corner of the world a better place than it was when we found it. And I hope I have done that with the people whose paths have crossed mine. But I also need to say that I have learned so much more from my clients and from my students and from colleagues. I'm a different social worker than I was when I graduated with my MSW from the University of Chicago in 1976. And that is thanks largely to the impact my clients and my students had on my life. So I thank all of them for enriching my professional development and my life. And I'd like to thank my family as well, because they have always been supportive and always been there, and have, I guess, laughed at my social work jokes patiently. And then finally, I know that we should take advantage of the platforms that are presented to us. That's kind of how I view what I do now in my life. And that's how I viewed writing a textbook for Sunday school social work and then on child welfare, is that this gives me a platform where I can say some things that I've wanted to say. So I have this platform here for maybe another minute, and I have a couple more things to say. And just want to say that while I was enthralled with the life story of Jane Addams, I know that there are so many other voices in social work, past and present, who deserve to be equally elevated, but perhaps have not been because of their identities. I also have learned about the complexity of human behavior. None of us is perfect, and we should look upon others with a bit of grace. And then I think often of the importance of what one of my colleagues and co-authors in Chicago refers to as the professional habit of self-reflection. I believe that we benefit from this practice as individuals, but we also benefit as a profession from this, what can sometimes be painful process. So while I believe strongly that we social workers are an awesome group, and I really do believe that, and that we are motivated by, just the best values, I think it's important to stop and to acknowledge and grow from the recognition that our profession has sometimes colluded in the oppression of the very groups of marginalized people that we are called to serve. And I think it's only through this acknowledgement and our renewed commitment to continue to hold and try to adhere to our core values, including social justice, and to adopt anti-oppressive practices, anti-racism, as has been highlighted by other speakers here tonight. And that's how we move forward as a profession and continue to grow to meet the demands of an ever-changing world. So carry on with that work, colleagues, and thank you again for this honor. I feel very honored.
Congratulations, Dr. Keller. Well deserved. I hope to see you soon in person as well.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and Evie, I totally get the Sally Field line too, so.
Okay, well, I'm going to hand it to Miguel. Before I do that, I do want to say that there were 19 nominations for actually a couple of anonymous ones in addition to that, Dr. Keller. So they really do like you. So I will say that I really very much appreciate everyone that took time to make nominations. We called all the folks that were nominated, whether they were recognized or not, to let them know that they were appreciated. I will say that each year I say this on the recorded thing. I watched it earlier today, and I say, this is something I need to split up with the board, calling the award winners, because it's such a pleasure to let people know that they're appreciated, and that their colleagues appreciate them. So that might be something we add to the board's plate, Miguel, in the future. So that said, I will look at handing the ceremony off to Miguel for some closing remarks, and whatever Miguel doesn't say, I'll say after Miguel. Miguel, take it away.
Yeah, I'll make sure I leave something for you, Jeremy. Well, before I say the closing remarks, I would like to say thank you to all those that make this possible. I mean, behind the scenes, to have from PowerPoints, scripts, contacting you, providing the awards. I mean, there's a lot of people not here present that did a lot of work, and I want to say thank you to all of them. And of course, thank you all of you, and those that left for some reason. Thank you all for attending the NASW Washington chapters this evening. It's scheduled for 1 hour. However, we're gonna be here for, I don't know, half an hour more. You wanna talk to any of us or among each other, congratulate yourself, because that's very good. Happy Social Work Month. Remember, we still have a few more days of Social Work Month. And thank you all for your hard work as professionals and as colleagues. I'll invite you all to check our website. We make some changes there to our website. Check out for different things that we offer, and check out for different events that we're gonna be having throughout the year. As I mentioned, we're gonna be open for a few more minutes, maybe half an hour, 2 minutes, depending. Feel free to stick around and congratulate all of the winners. Also, please consider to participate, to volunteer your leadership skills with the chapter. Right now, we're looking for board members and members from the different communities that we have. You can contact Jeremy. You can go to our website and you can find out how we need people like you serving in our state for the welfare of everyone else. Again, thank you very much. I'll be here along with some other people. You want to stick around? That would be super. Jeremy.
Thanks, Miguel. And I think you covered everything that I was going to cover, except for I'll name the committees that we're looking for. One, the board of directors. We're looking for an Eastern Washington rep, a Western Washington rep. Those are two-year elected positions. We're also always looking for BSW and MSW reps, which is a one-year position. And then this year we have the pleasure of having a president-elect position coming open. So you'd work with Miguel for a year and then 2 years on your own. So it's a 3-year total elected position. And then our VP of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion is up for election too this year. So if you're remotely interested, please email me or check out our website. We have a link directly to applying. Also, our PACE committee, that's our political action for candidate election committee, is looking to gear up for the elections, to do endorsements and fundraising to make an impact on the electoral side. On the legislative side, the Legislative Action Committee, our biggest committee, is always looking for members. And then we have our Membership Engagement Committee, which is also always looking for members. So we welcome any level of involvement. And so from there, I will say thank you so much for coming out, and please do stick around if you want to congratulate folks either in the chat or in person. Call them out. Thank you so much.
Very good.
Oh, and also thank you to the ASL interpreters, Ryan and Audrey. Thank you. so much. And then Diana Ferguson, our chapter coordinator for professional development and administrative affairs, is running everything behind the scenes, even with it being Friday night, which I try not to make Diana work any Friday nights, but she likes coming to this because it's a lot of fun. So thank you so much, Diana, Ryan,
Yeah.
and
It
Yeah,
has to be
thank you.
jarring because it's like a second person situation where you're literally thanking yourself, right, as the interpreter, right? Like that's weird. It's a weird sensation.
Good point. So we have open mic. Anyone? Yeah, let's hear from those of you. You can raise your hand so you can go first. Let's see. Let's see. Who wants to say something?
Guess I'll say something. I mean, I
Go ahead.
attended this event about 2 years ago also, and I just inspired and again continue to be inspired by the people in the community and the other social workers dedicated to this work. So I just appreciate all the award winners tonight. It's really nice to hear from you.
Thanks, Joshua. Thanks for being here. I saw Tequira's message here somewhere. Where are you? Tequira, you here? Let me see. Let me see. Tequira.
Well, on behalf of all of us, I think we want to say thank you to the board members for your organizing this event, but for your dedicated leadership as well. So to all the board members of the Washington chapter, thank you.